You know when you read an argument that's just so powerful, so persuasive, it feels, well, unbreakable? There's actually a hidden structure behind every single one of them. It's a blueprint. And today, we're going to take that blueprint apart, piece by piece, so you can learn how to use it yourself.
So, this might look like some kind of old-school crest, right? But what it really represents is a masterclass in persuasion. The system we're diving into comes straight from the world of legal scholarship, a field where your argument isn't just a point you're making, it's your entire case.
There's this ancient phrase that hints at something really deep. It's not just about knowing the rules of a subject. The real power, the game-changing power, comes from how you argue within those rules.
And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to have a great idea, but it is a whole other challenge to build it into something that can actually stand up to criticism. So now, we're going to show you the architectural plan.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to look at the anatomy of a perfect argument, walk through the core stages of writing it, talk about the habits that great writers use, and then wrap it all up with a blueprint you can take with you. Let's start with the core structure. So, in the legal world, they call this a note, but don't let that formal name fool you. I want you to think of it as a universal architectural plan for building any kind of strong, convincing argument.
This right here is the flow. Every really powerful argument follows these 5 basic steps. You start with an intro that clearly states the problem. Then, parts 1 and 2 give the background and lay out the current state of things. Part 3, that's where you drop your unique solution. And finally, the conclusion hammers it all home. It's a journey, and it's designed to guide your reader, logically, from A to Z.
Now, this first part of your argument has one and only one critical job: orientation, not persuasion. You're not trying to win anybody over yet. All you're doing is acting as a guide. You're giving your audience the map, the history, the context, the key ideas they absolutely need to follow you. So after you've laid out the facts, part 2 would dive into where things stand today. But the real engine of the whole thing, that's part 3. This is the heart of the note. This is the fight. Here, you're not just describing things anymore. You're critiquing them. You're showing exactly why the current way isn't working, and you're making the case for your original, better solution. You know, it's really important to get the goal here. This method isn't about speed reading a problem to spot issues for an exam. No. This is a framework for deep, clear thinking. It's designed to help you contribute something genuinely new and valuable to the conversation. Okay, so we've got the structure, we see the blueprint, but how do you actually, build it? Let's break down the process, and we'll start with the single most important piece that holds the entire thing up.
See, great writing is almost never a sudden flash of genius. It is a methodical process. And look closely here. The actual drafting, the writing, doesn't even start until step 4. All the real work happens up front, finding your topic, digging in with research, and forging that core idea. Each stage sets the foundation for the next.
This, right here, this is the most critical step of all. Before you write a single paragraph, you must be able to boil down your entire argument into one single, powerful sentence. If you can't do that, your idea just isn't ready to be built yet. It's as simple as that.
And here's what that one sentence is. It's your thesis. It's not just a topic, it's a claim. And you got to think of it as the ultimate filter, like a bouncer at a club. For every single paragraph you write, you have to ask, does this directly help my one-sentence thesis? If the answer is no, it's got to go.
All right, so having a blueprint and a thesis, that's one thing. But actually building the argument day in and day out, that takes discipline. So let's shift from the theory and get into the practical habits that actually make this whole process work. This is such a game changer. Seriously, forget about those heroic all-night writing sessions. The pros know that short, consistent writing sessions done regularly are way more effective. It's all about building momentum, not burning out.
Oh man, it happens to every single one of us. You're just staring at a blank page. The words won't come. That's writer's block, and it's a totally normal part of the process. The key is knowing how to handle it strategically, not just trying to power through it. So here are a few little tricks to get you unstuck. Sometimes, something as simple as changing the font is enough to trick your brain. Other times, you just got to step away for a bit, or maybe work on an easier section. The goal is just to start again, because that little bit of momentum is almost always enough to break the stall.
I absolutely love this quote because it's so sharp and it's so true. It gets right to the heart of what ruthless editing is. You can't just hide your clever little side thoughts in the footnotes.
If an idea doesn't serve the main thesis in the main text, it doesn't belong in the piece. Period.
And that leads us to this kind of counterintuitive truth. Powerful writing isn't about adding more stuff. It's about taking things away. You have to be willing to cut your favorite sentences, to delete whole sections if they don't directly serve that one-sentence thesis. Clarity comes from what you remove.
Okay, time to bring it all home. We've looked at the structure, the process, and the habits. Now, let's forge all of this into a simple blueprint you can start using on your own work, like today.
Here are the 4 big takeaways. First, nail that one-sentence thesis before you do anything else. Second, follow that simple, logical structure: problem, context, solution. Third, build momentum with consistent work. And fourth, be absolutely ruthless in your editing. Make every word earn its place.
You know, it's so easy to think of structure as something that limits you, that cages you in. But I want you to reframe that. A blueprint like this doesn't trap your creativity. It does the exact opposite. It's the launch pad that gives your ideas the power and the clarity they need to really take off. So, the last question is for you. Whether it's for a big project at work, a paper for school, or maybe just to finally win a debate with a friend, think about the next point you want to make. What argument will you build with this blueprint?
For more tools and reference guides, visit the L.A.W.S Toolkit.